Hi friends, this is Bakapa. In this Postman tutorial, I will be discussing about what are cookies and how to add cookies in Postman, and then how to edit cookies in Postman, and also I will discuss how to delete cookies in Postman. And finally, I will be discussing by using the APIs how to set cookies, how to get cookies, and also I will discuss how to delete the cookies data in Postman by using the APIs. So let's understand what are cookies. So cookies has a multiple names. So many people call it as web cookies, HTTP cookies, internet cookies, and also it is called browser cookies. So cookies are nothing but a small block of data which will be created while you are browsing over the internet. For example, when you visit any e-commerce website. So let's take an example of Amazon.com. So when you log in into the Amazon.com and after searching any item, and when you view any item details, so it will start displaying you all the relevant items, right? So what exactly in the backend happened is, so after viewing any item, so this particular browser cookies data will be sent back to the web server. So web server, it will start tailoring the web page based on the cookies data. So cookies are nothing but it's a user where based on the preference, any web page will be tailored and it will be displayed to the particular user. That's what all about the cookies. So let's start discussing about the API details, and after that we'll start creating the API request, and also we will start adding the cookies data in the API, and also we will check out what are the cookies data it is sent to the application server, and also we will be seeing how to edit the cookies data, and also we will be seeing how to delete the cookies data in Postman. So let's look at the API details first. So here I'm using the HTTP method as get. So it can be the post also. So this is just a test API, and this particular endpoint we are using it HTTP colon to forward slash and followed by that postman hyphen echo.com and followed by cookies, and after that we are passing the set. So this is a simple API we are using to demonstrate the usage of the cookies in Postman tool. So now I will go back to the Postman tool. So let's start creating the API request. So inside the positive endpoints, I'm adding the one API request. So here I'm specifying the request, that is the API name as cookies using Postman. So here I will specify the HTTP method type as get, and followed by that I will enter the HTTP colon to forward slash postman hyphen echo.com and slash cookies, and also I will add it as the slash and set. So this particular URL is same as what we just now discussed here. So this particular URL I have entered in the endpoint over here. So after entering the endpoint, what you need to do is, so based on the API details, you can specify all the request body if it is there, and also you can add the headers also. In my case, only two details we have to specify. One is the HTTP method and followed by the endpoint. So we have specified these two details, and now I will discuss how to add cookies in Postman. So over here you can see the send button. Below that you are seeing the cookies. Simply you need to click on this cookies. So before you click on this cookies, simply you can copy this domain. So that is postman-echo.com. So you can click on this cookies, and after clicking on that cookies, simply you need to add the domain over here. So here I'm adding the postman-echo.com, and after that simply click on this add domain. So if you look at here, so our domain is displaying over here. If you are working on multiple projects, simply you need to add the domain over here. So based on that, so inside that you can add your all the cookies data. So let's add the couple of cookies data over here. So if you look at here, so this particular domain is displayed over here, and below that you are seeing the plus icon, that is the add cookie. Simply you need to click on this add cookie, and here you need to specify the key and the value. So you need to specify the key name. So in my case, I'm specifying skill1 as, so, so here I'm specifying the skill1 as the key name, and here I'm specifying the value as postman by testers talk. So this is the one cookie data. After adding the key and the value, simply you can click on the save button. So that's it. So we have added the one cookie, and let's add the another two cookies. So I will add the skill2 and the skill3 as the another two keys. And also if you observe over here, so here they have specified the expires, and it is this particular cookie data is expiring on, by default it is giving us the almost an 1 year of time. So after adding any cookies data over here, so let's add the another key, that's the skill2. So here I'm specifying rest assured by testers talk. So you can add any key and the respective value. So I will click on this save button, and similarly I will add the skill3, and I will specify the value as spec flow by testers stock. So that's it. Let's click on the save button, and after that simply close the this particular window. So we have added the cookies data, and now our API is ready. Simply you can save the this particular API, and after that click on send. So if you look at here, so we got the 200 as the API response status code, and also here we got the API response body also, and also here we are seeing the under the cookies JSON object, it contains all the respective cookies data. So we have added the skill1 as postman by tester stock, skill2 we have added, and also we have added the skill3 also we have added. So let's go to the our logs, that's the postman console, and we will verify what are the details it is this particular sent to the application server. So let's look at the last API, that's a get, and if you look at here, so here we are having the network details, request headers, response headers, and the response body. So let's look at the request headers over here. So if you look at here, we are having all this by default, it is sending all the details, and followed by that, so if you look at here, so it is sending the another parameter called cookie, where it is passing all the cookies data. So skill1 is postman by tester stock, and skill2 is rest assured by tester stock, and also it is passing the skill3 as spec flow by tester stock. So by default it is adding the another cookie data over here. So this is how you can add the cookie in Postman. So let's discuss now how to edit the cookies in Postman. Again, you can go back to the cookies over here. So below the send button, and you can click on these cookies. And after going to this particular window, so you can go to the domain, whatever the domain you are working on. So based on the API. So we have added this postman-echo.com. Under this, we have added the 3 cookies data, right? So let's modify the skill1. So simply you need to click on that particular key, and it will display all the details. So what is the key, and what is the value, and what is the expiration date and the time. So here what I'm doing is simply I'm modifying the skill1. So let's add the Postman API testing by tester stock. So we are updating the skill1 cookies data, and after updating it, simply you can click on the save. So that's it. Let's close this window. One second, guys. So it is got stuck. So let's close this window. So after that, simply save the API. So now let's click on the send button once again. So we have added the cookie, and also we have updated the cookie in Postman. And if you look at here, so we got the 200 as the status code from the application server, and also we got the all the cookies data in the response body. And if you look at here, skill1 we have updated, and value is Postman API testing by tester stock. And let's check out the logs also. So I will click on this Postman console, and let's view the latest API call. So if you look at here, inside the request headers under cookies, you should be able to see the skill1 as Postman API testing by tester stock. So this is how you can modify the or edit the cookies data in the Postman. So now let's see how to delete the cookies data in the Postman. So again, let's click on the cookies and simply you can click on this particular arrow mark, right? So you are seeing the after every cookies we have added, right? It is showing the X mark, right? Into mark. So simply you need to click on that into mark and that particular cookie data will be deleted for this particular domain. So let's delete the skill one and we will close this window and let's save the API details. And now I will click on the send button once again. And if you look at here, we got the 200 as the status code from the application server. And also if you look at the cookies data, so skill one is got deleted from the our cookies data, right? So now let's delete the all the cookies data. So let's again click on this cookies data. And what you need to do is, so if you want to remove all the cookies data for this particular domain, you need to simply click on this particular into mark so that it will delete this particular whole domain and also it will delete all the respective cookies data as well, right? So simply I will click on this particular arrow mark and if you see here, so there are no cookies data present for that particular domain. And let's close this window. Sorry guys, so my window got stuck. Just give me a few seconds. Let me close this window. And after closing the window, simply save the API. Now let's click on the send button. So this time there will be no cookies data present in this particular domain or in this particular API also. And if you look at here, so our cookies data is empty and also we got the 200 as the response status code. And also we will check out the API logs. What are the details it is sent? So let's look at the latest API details. And if you see here inside the request headers, so inside the cookies, just it is sending the default data to the this particular API. So this is how you can add cookie in Postman, and this is how you can edit cookies in the Postman, and also you can delete the cookies data in the Postman. So far you have seen how to add cookies in Postman, how to edit cookies in Postman, and also you have seen how to delete cookies in Postman. Now I will start discussing about how to add, edit, delete cookies in Postman by using the APIs. So here I'm taking the same example. So simply I will copy the cookies using Postman API. So let's add the cookies data first, and then we will start getting all the cookies data, and finally we will delete the all the cookies data. So simply I will make the copy of this API request. So we are using the almost same API. So I will rename this particular API name as set cookies. So we are adding the cookies data using the API. So here I'm saying set cookies and followed by, so I'm specifying the get only. It depends on the API, how it is developed by the developer. So in my case, so this is a test API. I'm specifying it as a get and followed by HTTP and postman-echo.com followed by cookies and a set. And after that, I'm specifying the question mark. And here I'm specifying the all the details. So here I'm specifying the skill one as postman by testers talk, and I will display, sorry, I will add the another cookies data, that is a skill two as rest assured by testers talk. So that's it guys. So still we have not clicked on the send button. So let's validate what are the data is present inside the cookies for this particular domain. So let's click on this cookies. And if you look at here, so we are having only skill 2. So let's delete that skill 2 also. And so let's clear this whole domain also. That is not an issue. So let's clear it. And after that, simply close this window. So right now, we do not have any cookies data for this particular API or this particular domain. So we are going to create the two cookies data. The first one is skill 1 as postman by tester stock and skill 2 as rest assured by tester stock. Now I will save this API. So inside the cookies, we do not have any cookies data for this particular API or the particular domain. So now I'm saving once again the API, and after clicking on this send button, so eventually it will add the two cookies data for this particular domain. First one is skill1 as postman by test stock, and a skill2 as rest assured by tester stock. So I will click on this send button now, and if you look at here, we got the API response from the application server as a 200 status code, and also we got the cookies data in the API response body. And if you look at here, skill1 as postman by tester stock, and skill2 as rest assured by testers stock. And what I will do is simply I will click on the cookies now, and automatically it will add the respective domain and followed by the all the cookies data whatever we are passing over the API. So this is how you can add the cookies data in Postman using the API. So let's update the cookies data by using the API. So what I will do is simply I will use the same API, and also I can pass the different value for the skill one. So here I'll pass Postman API testing by tester stock, and if I click on that, so automatically respective cookies data will be getting updated. And if you see here in the API response, so skill one got updated with the Postman API testing by tester stock. So this is how you can add the cookies data by using the API, and also you can edit the cookies data by using the API in Postman. So let's read all the cookies data. So what I will do is simply I will make the copy of this API. So by using the API, we will read all the cookies data. So simply I will select the duplicate, and I will rename this API with the get cookies. So that's it. And I will go to the URL, and simply I will delete all this stuff. So I will keep it only http:// followed by postman-echo.com followed by cookies. So that's it. I will save the API, and after that I will simply click on the send button. So this particular API returns all the cookies data for this particular domain or this particular API. So if you look at in the response, we got the 200 as the status code, and also we got the API response body, and it is displaying all the cookies data, whatever the cookies data we have created just now. So let's discuss now how to delete the cookies, right? So simply I will make the copy of the same API, and here I'll say API name as delete cookie. So here I'll say API name as delete cookies, and I will slightly make the modification over in the URL. So it depends on the API, guys. So it could be the HTTP method as delete because we are performing the delete operation. So it can be the delete as well. So this is a test API. So it is the get method only as of now. So here I'm specifying cookies followed by delete, and I'll specify the question mark. And after that, I will specify the key name of the cookie. So here I'll specify skill1 because we have added the skill1 and skill2. So here I'm deleting the skill1. Only skill2 should be present in the cookies data, right? So I will save this API, and I will click on the send. And if you look at here, we got the 200 as a status code, and also we got the API response body as the only skill2. So let's go to the our get cookies. So in this get cookies also, it should application server should return only the skill2 because we have deleted the skill1. So let's click on the send button. So if you look at in the API response body, so we have only the skill2 in the cookies data for this particular API or for this particular domain. So this is how you can add, edit, delete cookies by using the APIs in Postman.
Hi friends, this is Bakapa.
welcome to API testing full course. You can access all the exercise which we have done in the whole API testing course. I have already provided this link in the video description. So anyone can access this link, and also you can get the whole collections and also the environment variable details. So you can take that URL which is there in the description of this below video and paste it in the web browser. And after that, so once it is opened, so you need to export this collections into the your local system. So it will open like this after accessing the link. So this is a public access URL which I have shared it. You can click on this booking API. You can see all the APIs are there inside the two folders. So what you can do is you can click on this three dots and you can export it. So you can click on this export, and firstly you can export this booking API collection, and after that on the right side you can select the booking API environment, and after that click on this icon and click on the edit. Then you can click on three dots and you can click on this export. So this will export the environment variable details. So after exporting it, so you will get these two files. And once you have these two files, you can go to the Postman and you can click on this import and make sure you are there in this file tab, and you can click on choose files and you can select the firstly collection, that's the Postman collection, and you can open it, and after that you can click on import. So firstly you can load the Postman collection, and after that you can load the environment details. So as I have already these APIs in my system, I don't want to import it, and this is how you can get the exercise which we have done in the API testing full course.